Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Breakthrough Podcast. Once again, today I have a very, very, very special guest. This is someone who's been redefining what it means to move with intention. She's a yoga and fitness coach, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, a biochemistry and a neuroscience graduate from U of T, University of Toronto, Canada in the house, and she's also a certified yoga instructor and accredited by the International Yoga Alliance. She has built her brand around one powerful idea, that movement is medicine, and she's brought the philosophy to life through her app that's called the Move Training app. And it's a beautiful blend of Pilates, yoga, and fitness, and designed to help people build a daily movement habit wherever they are in the world. And especially if you're like looking for Pilates in an app, especially, this is a really great app that we really highly recommend for people. And with almost a 5-star rating, she's built this thriving global community where she's not just a trainer, she's your guide, she's your cheerleader, and most importantly, she's your personal wellness BFF. Please welcome Paris James.
Thank
Paris,
you.
thank you for being here. Paris is
Thank you for having
my
me.
sister from another mother. So Paris, thank you for doing this with us. We're so happy to talk to you here. So you talk to us about your life journey. Kind of like, where were you born? Obviously, you grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, right? And talk to us. You have a studio there, and you have a great community there as well. Maybe talk to us about growing up there. How has that shaped to what you are today and what you've built today?
So I'm born in Trinidad and Tobago, and growing up, I had an interest in movement, but it was honestly never something I ever thought I would pursue. My whole life revolved around science. I wanted to be a neurosurgeon at one point. I wanted to be a chemist, and I eventually just pursued that. I went into sciences and I got a scholarship from my country. The government in my country gives out scholarships where if you get one, you could travel and study anything you want anywhere in the world, and they pay for literally everything. So at that point, I chose to do biochemistry and neuroscience, a combination of the two at U of T. So I went away for a few years, like I think around 5 years, and I worked in immunology labs. I worked in medicinal chem. I worked in 2 hospitals. I thought that was my life. I enjoyed it. I really did. That's still my passion. Like dealing with science or the science background or the knowledge of the body is still my passion. When I came back to Trinidad, there wasn't a job in my field that I felt like fit my personality. And the stress of that led me to start doing yoga. And at that point, it was a movement, I think, on social media. And a lot of people were doing it. And I would just go online and I would see how they were doing it. And I would just try to teach myself. There weren't a lot of yoga studios at all in my area. Like, it's not something that's huge in Trinidad. So the more I started to teach myself, I started to post and enter these international challenges. And eventually I got this online community of yoga enthusiasts as well. And then people locally started asking me, oh, how did you do this? How did you learn this? So I was like, okay, maybe I could just try to do a class at a gym and like teach. So I started doing that. And then from there, it kind of just spiraled. It just started to become one class, another class, and I eventually got certified. Right at the point where I got certified, the world went on lockdown.
2020.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh. So I used to drive and teach private classes. I used to do all these different things. I was working in my family business at that point in time. They had like a little like printing and publishing company. We would make custom stationery, but that wasn't my passion. I knew that for some reason, I like the blend of helping people with movement. And I feel like the doctor part of me that I initially thought that I was going to do, like, I feel like that was pushing me as well. So like people came to me with injuries. I was helping them with rehab exercises. And then I started to just fall in love with it more and study it more. So then I became a fitness coach, and then eventually now Pilates, and then everything just kind of merged into me wanting to do this. But then the world went on lockdown and I had to do something online. So I started with Zoom. Yeah, I started with Zoom. And then I don't know if you remember, there was a platform that I can't remember the name of it, but you could have done courses on it. So you would just do one course and then publish it. And then you just sold like one individual courses. But then I felt like people would buy it and I wouldn't really know who they were. And then I started looking for an app. I started like digging around, being like, I need to do something. And then that's how I found Breakthrough.
And you put some courses on this platform first. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and you put the courses up, people were getting them, maybe you didn't know who they were.
Happened. I put up these courses. I remember it was a 28-day beginner yoga program and then a 28-day core program. And the courses were selling. People were buying it, but then that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, where are they? And then
Right.
I couldn't talk to them. Like I didn't have, like, it was just so disconnected. And then I felt like I just had everything all over the place. I had Zoom here. I had 2 random courses online. I had people just on Instagram, on TikTok, emailing me. I had an email list. And then I just wanted everything in one place. And I like was not finding that until I found Breakthrough.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then that sort of just kind of merged everything in. And then I started, then I had the meeting with y'all.
Yeah.
And then like from there, it was, here we are.
Here we are. And that was 4 years ago, I remember.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago. That was maybe like
How
2021,
crazy.
maybe 5 years.
Maybe 5 years. Holy cow, time flies, huh? Half a decade, Paris.
Yeah.
So then tell me this. I want to go back to a little bit before you launched the app. You know, I feel like your story is amazing and it's so relatable. Like you're in this really high stress program, and like people that don't know U of T is like the Harvard of Canada.
Super
You know,
hard.
U of T, my brother went to U of T. It's a very hard school. So obviously that's so relatable because so many people are in that work, study stress. Talk to me about this. Talk to me about your growing your social media, because obviously, like you, for your personal wellness, you found that, but you were also putting things out there. What was the journey of building up your Instagram? Because now you're at thousands and thousands of followers. You got a great engaged community. What was that journey there, and what tips maybe with that you can share to like the Paris that was getting started building her following?
Okay, so when I first started, my sister actually had a YouTube channel. So this was like when YouTube was not a thing. And I remember so distinctly, there was nobody in Trinidad who was like on these platforms. So it was like, she started doing it and she started doing like, she's very artsy. So between the two of us, she was very artsy and I was always very like into fitness and movement. So she started doing DIY. And I don't know if like anybody like listening to this remembers, there was a huge DIY YouTube era. It was huge. Everybody was making stuff, making crafts, like stuff for school, like back to school designs. Like it was insane. So she had a YouTube channel and she built 200,000 followers on YouTube from in that time, because this was when it was viral. And then I popped on there like for some collaborative videos with her at first. So that was how the initial like maybe, but from there I think I only got like, I would say like 5,000, but that was a huge number to me because I went from 300 in UFT to 5,000, which was huge. So that was from the YouTube era where people were like now following you. And then what was really big was this company, Alo Yoga, and they obviously viral now, but I was there when they now started, and they used to have these Alo challenges, these Alo yoga challenges. So you would get together with a community of the yoga people, maybe like 5, and together you would host a challenge. So every day you would have to post a picture of yourself doing a pose, because at that point videos were not even there on Instagram. So we would post these pictures and encourage people to enter, and then the winner of the challenge received a gift card from Alo, which was I think around 200 US. So you could have bought like an entire outfit. So I think that was when everything changed on Instagram for me, because it forced me basically to just post every single day. And I would have a challenge every month. So there was a year where I think I did 12 challenges. And so obviously to win the gift card and to enter the challenge, you had to follow the hosts. So I hosted numerous challenges, and then Alo Yoga wasn't like so global. So they would actually send me a bunch of products. So I actually got like a lot of stuff from them, and I would host mini events on my island, like Trinidad, and it would be free community events. They would send me like a bunch of bags like to give out. So I started to basically get everybody in the country like involved in like the movement space. Because there was nobody doing it. Yeah, there was nobody doing like events, nobody posted on Instagram. And to be honest, I was bullied a lot. I think a lot of people go through that. Like when you put yourself out there, you have to know that there's good and there's bad.
On Instagram with like comments and stuff like that?
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah, I was just like doing these random stretches.
Comments? Just like mean comments? Like that's what you were getting?
Yeah, like mean comments. Yeah, and then too, there was a portion of people, I think, I guess, in the yoga community who didn't think that yoga should have been like posted on Instagram, like marketed in any way. So there was that portion of it that I was dealing with too. Like people who were, like new to this Instagram, and they would be like, like if you're really doing yoga, like you shouldn't be posting. Like it was like that. So, I mean, the internet is a vast
Yeah.
place. Everybody is going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
So it's just a
Right.
lot of that. Yeah, it's just a lot of that, which I think a lot of people go through. And
Yeah.
then people back home, they obviously didn't know what the social media, like this country is really, really small. And like where I'm from, it's very small. So everybody was like, had an opinion. Like they thought, maybe I was supposed to be a doctor and I'm just posting pictures on Instagram. So it was kind of looked, I would say, down upon. And education is something that is highly focused on here. You have to follow this traditional path. Like there's nobody really who deviates. And then, I got this scholarship. I was at U of T. Like, what am I doing? So I think it was that aspect of it. But honestly, I didn't really care.
What's amazing about this is like not only you build this whole following up and you got a whole country with you, doing yoga and like into this wellness, which is so cool. And then, but the other cool thing is, that's a beautiful thing about you as a person, is that you're getting all this negativity from people and criticism, but I still feel like you've consistently maintained this positivity that you've continued to push out there. And I feel like every time I go on your page, it's just more and more positivity, which is so cool. What would you say to people that like get negative comments and get criticism on social media, especially being like this vast internet place and everybody has an opinion? Because sometimes people take it to heart, right? Like even a little thing, sometimes they take it to heart. Yeah. What advice would you give to like a new creator who's getting started and dealing with negative comments?
The first thing I would say, which is the most important, is to never engage with the negativity. Because what people don't realize is, even though you might get a little bit of traction if you respond to this negativity or if you draw attention to it, then you think that you're doing something good by, like responding or like answering back or maybe like, engaging in that negativity. But then the people who are following you, that's what they're going to remember you by. And I think somebody told me this once and I never forgot it. They said, from the time you engage in anything controversial or anything negative, that is what you will be remembered by. And it doesn't matter what you do after that. It's already like tainted, because the internet is such a quick place. You have an opinion about somebody you don't even know, but it takes you 2 seconds to form that opinion. So that is the number one thing. Don't engage in it. Like keep your space like very encouraging, positive. And then the other thing would be, it's always going to happen. You will never not have people who are negative. So once you have that in your head and you're aware of it, you know that that is a tiny, tiny percentage. And the more you go on, the more you grow and build, you will find a massive positive percentage like drawn to your space. So you just have to like literally block it out. If you have to block comments or filter or screen, do it, because you are doing something bigger. And then the people who are sitting down at home and writing those comments, like don't even give them energy or attention. Like keep doing what you do. And I think I've been good at like just consistently doing it. Yeah. Until like I don't even like, I laugh now if somebody and the thing is, it dies down. It goes. Because there's like, what are they going to say? If you respond, text, or react, you're letting them like negative, like you're letting them into your space. So the more that I just push through, I don't even remember the last time I got something negative. It's like gone now. So
I love it. That is so cool. Okay, now let's jump back to the app. So you launched the app with us. I remember it used to be called, you just named the app for yourself, right? You gave it your own name. And then at some point you changed it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like now the app is getting really consistent users. People are using it. You're putting content regularly as well. And there's so many cool features. You changed it to I think it used to be called Paris James Yoga. That was like your brand. That was on your website
Paris
too.
James Yoga.
But then
it was Mindfully Fit with Paris.
Then it was Mindfully Fit with Paris.
Yeah.
And then now it's the Move Training.
Move Training app. Yeah.
So maybe talk us through doing the rebrand. Like what's the story behind them? And then like, I guess if you've learned anything doing these rebrands.
Yes. Okay. So first it was Paris James Yoga. At that point, it was like, when you don't know what to call something. So that was the initial name.
Name it after your name. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Name it after your name. So I think like the banner, this was like when Breakthrough had the banner and the different sections. Initially, like everybody had one homepage.
I remember
that was the name that was at the top of the banner. And then the app itself was Mindfully Fit. So at that point in time, I knew that I wanted to not just be like, to not encourage movement without mindfulness. Because to me, like the mind body connection was something I learned in neuroscience. So that actually came into play. So for me, it was like I always knew the power of like your mind body connection, doing an exercise and then doing it with your mind, like actually like concentrating on the muscles, concentrating on the movement. So that's why the app was originally called Mindfully Fit. It was about like being mindful about fitness and like just doing things very mindfully. And then, so at that point in time, I was only doing yoga. And when I was doing yoga for my own personal regime as well, and also teaching classes, I actually got injured because I was overdoing the challenges at that point in time. And that's like a lesson I had to learn. So I honestly got caught up in the whole social media aspect of it as well. I kept wanting to post these insane pictures. Like there was a point in time when that was the thing. We learned lessons. So I was like doing these splits, these handstands, these headstands. And I think my journey, I lost the mindfulness within me, honestly, because I started just wanting to just hit these milestones versus like the actual like journey. So I had to learn from that. So I basically got injured because I was becoming too flexible. I was focusing too much on flexibility. And so then I started to strength train. And then I realized that you can't just do one without the other. Like for me, I was like, and then as I started learning more about fitness, I realized like we need to be doing some sort of movement for like with resistance training for like our muscles. Like we need also the mobility and flexibility of yoga. And then later on, when I became certified Pilates instructor with Balanced Body, I learned how important posture and spine and core was. Huge. It was huge. And if I had known these things before, I would not have just been trying to be as flexible, because there's a flexibility, but there's a point where you're going to hit a wall because your muscles are now not developed. So flexibility will now go into your joints. And like, I just started to be like, you know what? I want to focus on movement. I want to focus on movement. And yoga was my entryway into movement. So I started thinking about the move method, which for us, it's core in the form of Pilates, and it's strength training, and it's like mobility and mindfulness from the yoga. And I started thinking like, you don't have to choose one. Like everybody needs a little bit of each discipline. So then with the online studio, we started teaching this particular class, the move method class, that is strength training followed by a bit of like Pilates and core, and then ending with stretching and recovery. So when that started coming into place in person, I knew it. The app felt like there was a huge disconnect because there was only like, I guess, stretching and mobility on the app. And I started to feel like, how could I have this on the app when everybody's doing this and I'm preaching this in person? So that was why I rebranded it to the Move Training app, which features the Move method, and then I wanted it to be very, very simple. Like you don't have to go to like a commercial gym. Like you have everything you need. You just need one pair of weights and a mat, and like we could teach you everything. So I started to really niche down into the move method and telling people that they really only need 30 minutes for sustainable movement. So like that became, and that was me growing as well in my own journey, like knowing that like I had to do these different things. So yeah, it was a
That's
journey.
cool. And then the Move Training, the app name really fits it. And I highly recommend people check out the Move Training app. Just type that on your app store and you'll see it. It's a green logo. It's a great app.
Yeah.
And Paris, you've done a phenomenal job. You even got recipes in there beyond the 3-4 aspects of moving that you talked about. So related to that, because you have this amazing background of not only being a yoga teacher, not only being a fitness instructor, but being a Pilates instructor, but then also having your neuroscience background from a college. What would you say makes your brand unique?
I think the focus is on just the basic principle of movement itself, like movement for sustainable fitness. So for us, like I know there's a lot of things out there with like quick fixes and 6-week like quick fixes, or, for us, we just want people to know that if they continue with these simple, sustainable movements from these 3 different pillars, when they're 80 years old, they will have everything that they need. And they would have the strength, they would have the mobility, they will have the spine and the core. So like, I think it's just like, I would say it's almost like a need. Like, it's something that you need. It is something that we broke it down so simply that you only need less than 30 minutes a day. And if you're just consistent, like that is all you need for sustainable fitness. Like you will see results, obviously, like if you incorporate good diet and good meals, which we also have on the app. But I think it's just taking the best like aspects or like the main principles from these methods and just putting it together in a form that's very digestible, like almost like bite-sized, where you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't need a lot of equipment, you just have what you need right at home and it's accessible to anybody anywhere. Because you don't even really need to start off any dumbbells. Like you could master your body weight and then progress, but it's something that you could take with you anywhere and just have like right at the tip of your fingers.
I want to ask you a hot take question, Paris.
Yeah.
Because you do have these unique perspectives. I want to ask you between Pilates, yoga, and Pilates, yoga, or HIIT. If you could only pick one for life, which one do you pick and why? Pilates, yoga, or running? If you had to pick one, right? You're moving every day, doing 30 minutes or more, but you had to pick only one for the rest of your life. What would you say? There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah. I think, oh my gosh, this is tricky. I'm leaning towards, like, Pilates has a lot in it. It has core, it has spine, it has posture. The classical method is really good. But then obviously there's a part of me that's like, actually, I think out of all, if I had to choose, I would probably say the Pilates because you could get strength from it. You could get mobility from it. It's something that my teacher, like she was from New York, she would always say that Pilates encourages your body to move in the ways that it was designed to for everyday living. So she's like, I think she's close to 70 and all she ever did was Pilates. So she said that like it encourages your full range of motion of your body in a low impact way, but it's like so effective. So it's like stuff like reaching, stuff like turning, twisting, like she was like every single thing within the method is designed for you, like for your everyday life. And then like it really has a mobility aspect because I would say strength training, obviously, because we need bone density as we get older. But then what is strength training if you don't have the mobility in your body and the flexibility? I always say that because you could be doing all of this, but like, could you have like a strong core with it? Could you like have good posture? Like, could you really find that like length and that natural range? Because I know people who have huge arms, but they can't lift their arms. So like, will that take you to the end of time?
And listen, I think I love that you said that because there's this Pilates studio.
Yeah.
And every time I'm there, there's just these vibrant 60 to 70-year-old women coming out and they're just vibrant and loving life. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to be like that. But you know what's interesting? I never see any guys in there. Maybe like one out of like 20 or 30. So what's with that? Is it just like how the market has become and how is it in Trinidad and Tobago? So. Like, is it mainly just women that go into Pilates?
Mainly women. I think it was because it became so marketable with this new generation, you know, the Pilates, the matcha, the outfits, the studios, the cafes, like it just became very trendy. But then if you really look at like certain like top tier athletes, like they do reformer Pilates, which is, so you didn't specify on the island. If it was Pilates, I'd bring my reformer. Yeah.
You're fine. You can have the reformer for the rest of your life. I'll bring my reformer
because your reformer has springs and the springs has tension. So you do get the strength from the springs. So it's such a good combination. I have a few guys coming in and when they come in, they always think it's just stretching. Like everybody has this idea, even with yoga, it's just stretching. Like they don't know that you could actually really get a good workout from yoga, like a really good movement. And then from Pilates, they think it's super easy. But some of the top athletes in the world, like they do Pilates. Because Pilates is so focused on every like inch of your body, like your stabilizing muscles, your ankles, like you work from your feet, your spine, like everything. So I think guys just need to try it and see.
And there's no, I mean, everything you're saying is, it feels like it's all meant for the human body. It not really just is female only, right? So it's like it's not. Any gender.
It's any gender.
And I think there's just this like weird stigma. Yeah. That's why a lot of guys maybe don't do
probably,
it. But you know what's funny? I think like the same stigma is for certain types of dance, right? Like, for example, ballet. Like, of course, you know, I'm in near New York City. When you go to the ballet, there's guys, girls, there's everybody. But more girls, generally speaking. But what's interesting is there's like a couple of really famous mixed martial artists that fight in the UFC, real tough guys.
Right.
One of their practice items that they do, they train in ballet. Because
Right.
they're like, it gives them something to do with like maybe mobility, maybe strength.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, right? It's like, it's
Yeah.
very unassuming.
Yeah.
But I think Pilates is a good one. You're motivating me. My wife is a Pilates instructor.
Try, yeah, because it is really like my instructor. She's from New York, one of the best. I trained with her. She was the first person in New York City to have like a group studio. Toran is her name, and
Ah,
yeah, her husband is a chiropractor. And the crazy thing about the ballerina story you just gave me was that she was a professional ballerina and she injured her spine. And she was riding through Central Park, like one of those crazy romance novel stories. And she fell off her bike or had some injury on a
oh my
bike, I think. I
God.
don't want to get the story wrong. But basically,
Yeah.
she met the chiropractor and at his place, like she started doing he had a reformer because back then, like chiropractors were actually closely working with the reformer machine because it was for therapy. Because I've read like Joseph Pilates, like his whole book, his method, it was meant as a form. I always say like Pilates is therapy for your body. Like it's not that you have to do Pilates and nothing else. It is literally therapy. I've read all the books, like I did her training from start to finish. She said that the only thing that fixed her spine was the Pilates. And then from there, she started her studio, her group studio, and like she's certified and like he teaches the anatomy part of the courses. And now they have this like incredible business in New York. It's called
Wow.
Reform in Pilates New York. Yeah. And they
Yeah.
work with so many people. And the one thing I always think is that she always says, like, if you just do the method, like you will not have, like, there's so many things, so many injuries and so many hot spots that people struggle with. And like, there's so much people who struggle with like back pain, and that comes from a weak core, but you don't really realize that because people don't realize that the core is not just like the six pack abs. It's like your diaphragm,
Yeah.
your entire spine. So it's like so aligning for the body. So you really should
That's
get on.
huge. I think the moral of that story is if you fall off your bike in Central Park, it's not
Yeah,
over. It may be the
it's
best thing
not
to
over.
happen to you.
Yeah, it is.
That you met the chiropractor. And you know what's funny, Paris, you and I haven't talked about this. I think my
Yeah.
wife may have done the training with the same person, actually. I'll
Really?
connect you guys after. That's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, she's the best.
And next time you're in New York, we got to get together again. We got to
Yes,
get
I'm there
together.
next week, both. So next time we'll.
Where do you come to our office? Maybe we'll go to Pilates. Yeah. I'll be less intimidated if I go with you, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, Paris, this has been so awesome. I really appreciate you coming here. One of the many interesting things about you is that, you're selling to this Trinidad and Tobago audience. And I've always loved from the beginning, and I think I made like a LinkedIn post about this. I've always loved with your app seeing those transactions. Like paid subscribers come from Trinidad and Tobago. Subscription friendly and credit
Yeah,
card
no, it's
friendly
not.
in
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago, right? It's a different culture, different
Yeah,
like
different.
different financial system and
Yeah.
whatnot. But you definitely have processed a lot of money through Trinidad and Tobago, and you've sold to people the app as well. For anybody listening that's like not selling directly just to a U.S. audience, you're selling to this global audience, but primarily Trinidad and
Yeah.
Tobago audience. I guess what have you learned selling to someone in that audience an online product?
I always say like Trinidad is such like a tiny little island. Like a lot of things, like I would say in inverted commas, like reach here later. So for instance, like the wellness boom is like now starting to seep in, but obviously it was there like, all over the world. So I think it's like just having patience because there were a lot of times where I was like, I'm doing all of this work, like I'm filming so many videos, like I really take a lot of attention into like how I film, and a lot of my videos, like almost all of the videos on the app, I actually do live because people like that. Yeah, they like that. And that's actually knowing your audience as well. Because in the beginning, I was like, oh, it's easier to just do like the routines and like just have a library and just build. But then like the one or two times I would put up those live videos, I would ask the audience, which one do you all prefer? And they all said, we want to feel like you are in the house with us. Like we want the live videos. Like we like when you say stuff and like you laugh or like, and at first I doing it, I thought I had to be really perfect. Like at one point I was teaching classes like and holding my breath because I was like, oh my, I can't breathe on the mic. And then they were like, oh, we love when you're out of breath. Like it shows that you are doing it. And I was like, you know what? It all comes down to just doing what you do. Like and not overthinking it, not trying to be super perfect. Like I thought I had to just be doing like so much different things to try to just get people to buy this app. And then it turned out that I just had to be just consistent, not super perfect in the beginning, but just consistent and just like really finding like what people want. People who can't come to my studio, they want to just have it online. And it was as simple as that. Like I didn't have to look all over the place. I'm like, what am I portraying like on Instagram? What do people like? They like the fact that in a busy schedule, you could be fit in 30 minutes. So just put it on the app, like just put it and then experimenting. So to find what I like did, like how I have the method now of the 3 different things, I experimented. First it was just yoga, then it was Pilates, and now I've added the strength. So it's like playing around with it because you never know like what will be like the thing that suddenly everybody will do. And of course being patient, because I know there will come a day where everybody will be like down here like, oh yeah, let's download apps. So like let's be more like app friendly because everybody's so like cultural here. Like we like to meet in person, like we like to hang out. So it's it's not as big as the like States where you know this instructor from like so far away. So you just want her stuff, you download it. Because people are like, the island is so small from the north of the island. So they would just come to me. Yeah, they would come to me.
So cool.
It's difficult sometimes because I'm like, I also want you all to subscribe. So you don't have to drive that far. But it is a work in progress. But I know it's just experimenting, being consistent and just being patient.
Yeah, love it. That's a great answer. And I think really knowing your audience, I think really is the big thing there, and experimenting. I think those are 2 really, really wise
but I
things
love that like breakthrough allows you to be creative and allows you to experiment because it's not fixated. It's not like you have to stick to it because like I'm obviously like really into running now, competing like almost every weekend. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Your
and then
Instagram is lit.
Yeah, the races are becoming popular here. So now I'm like, I need to put my running content on the app. I need to put my warm-up routines, like what is helping me get faster, like how to not get shin splints. These are things that people want to know. So now I have this whole new plan in my mind, but it's like, all I have to do is do what I do best, and Breakthrough is just going to let me like push it out in with like the push of a button, and like I'm going to get it out to like all of these people. So I just like really love that.
I'm so happy about that, and that's exactly what our vision is. So I'm loving that it's real. One idea for you, I just randomly thought. I used to do this with the Nike Run app, where they had. I remember with the Headspace guy Andy, he was featured in the Nike Run app one time, and basically they had this like guided runs where you just put it in your ear. It was audio. You hit play, and it's like, okay, go for a 10-minute run, and I'm gonna guide you through it. They had like Kevin Hart on there. They had Andy. I'm just thinking, Paris, that could be a cool thing that you could do, right? You could do like a guided 10-minute run, guided 5-minute run. And because as I think about you being yourself, you being your like BFF for personal wellness, right? You're like, your pal PJ, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like a lot of girls and guys who like really love you and resonate with you, they would love to have you in their ear, especially when someone's new to running. Just an idea.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it notes for free. No problem. Just an idea. Try it out. Okay. Final question for you. We're in 2026.
Yes.
I want you to fast forward to 2030. End of 2030, we get into 2031. That's about 4 to 5 years. Where is the Move Training app at that point? And as well as where is the whole Paris James brand and your studio in 2031?
So I love having a studio. I really do. I don't think that I'm going to like have multiple studios. Instead, for me, I want that on the app. Like that is my long-term goal because I am teaching, I'm not even going to lie, probably almost 100 classes on ground, like in studio a month. Yeah.
Wow.
So like I have like 16 group classes a month. I have like the sculpt classes, shred classes. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I want to be teaching 100 classes 5 years from now, like for the rest of my life, right? So I love having that connection in person, but I really feel like I just want to grow the app and have people like restart the Zoom on the app as well. Because my time has been cut off like with the in-person studio a lot. Like my attention is here right now because this is like what happened like post-lockdown. Everybody just wanted to have a space to come out. which I'm fine with. And now that the studio is operational, my attention is now going back to how do I get people back on Zoom? How do I get people back so that you could reach more people? And Trinidad is now booming in like, the wellness space, like I said. But so I really want to focus on like the region, because I mean, there's so many people like worldwide, but I feel like relating to like somebody from the Caribbean, like I used to look like really far sometimes. And then I'm like, sometimes what you need is like right in front of you. So like I want like the region, like the Caribbean region to like experience this app, like first and foremost. So like really get now like Barbados. I have people in Grenada, like Guyana. I went to Curacao and taught a class once there in a studio. So like I feel like there's a point where people relate to you because you're from the Caribbean, and you're more likely to take classes with somebody you relate to. So like I want to focus on like really getting a lot more people in Trinidad on the app, people in the region on the app. I want to have Zoom classes. I'm doing a Bali retreat next year. It's already like 75% sold out. So like I want more retreats, more travel, but like you can only do that if you have a recurrent source of income without you physically being there to trade time for time for money, basically. So I want to keep my studio. I love my studio, but I want passive income on the side to be able to really A, reach more people, and like B, be able to travel and reach more people, because I also love to travel. So I don't want to be stuck in like one set place. I want to spread the move method.
I love it. And I love that you're thinking out of that and evolving with the times. And I mean, what's amazing is you've got it all set up for you, and I think it's just a matter of investing more time-wise into one thing or the other. Are their behaviors changing where they're on Instagram and downloading apps? And I think that's starting to happen more and more, right? It's like slowly the meta thing is creeping in.
Which is why I'm glad that I have a studio as well. So it's like warming people up to this method and like parent tutorials. So like, it's like sometimes you think it has to happen like right then. And then I've learned that like just focusing and just doing, and then doors open, like little by little they open. And you really just have to think about the long run. And like I had to do this to experiment with the method first on people who I was seeing it like getting really good results from it. Teaching people in person helps you massively with teaching people online. That is something huge. So now I know how to correct form. I know what they might be doing wrong. And people love this. This is the one thing they say. They say when I'm teaching on the app, I say, try not to round your back. And then they always say, how did you know I was rounding my back? And I was like, because I know everything, because I've seen it. So I think that even though I wish like the app was like booming and like I had that first, and I love that I have the hands-on experience, because I think that would only make me a better teacher. So I'm not mad about that. But I do need to put more focus on like really pushing out the move method on digital platforms. But I know that Breakthrough is coming out with like having it on the platform, like having it on the data as well, which I love, because I feel like a lot of people are accustomed to that like YouTube forum. Like you want to just open your laptop or your tablet and like click it on there. So I love that like y'all are doing this like hybrid model of like the app, but also like a platform. So I think it's like amazing. I love that y'all are constantly innovating, doing new things, and it's like very exciting to be a part of. So
listen, people like you are the inspiration, and as I hear you talk, it's so inspiring. And yes, I can tell you right now, next week, your entire app is going to be on your website as well. So it'll be on the web. The entire app, people can do their classes. So Paris's audience is listening here, you go try it out on the computer. And then the second thing is, we're launching a Breakthrough marketplace where all kind of teachers will be in one place. She'll have the apps, but you get featured on this marketplace that it becomes a place where people are looking for wellness, and that could be a great discovery place.
Yeah.
But Paris, listen, you're such an inspiration. It's been in my mind. Watching your content on Instagram, all the races you've been doing, with your partner, honestly, that's inspired me to get back into running, like subconsciously.
Really?
Not even kidding. I think we got to connect on Strava. Literally, I've been so much back into running because I used to do marathons and half marathons, but I fell off.
Wow.
And I feel like just seeing you, I feel like every week this girl's collecting medals, doing
medals. My medal is like huge now.
Classes a year. While teaching 1,000 classes a year and running an app. Oh my God, you're amazing. What a beautiful gift you are to this world. And we appreciate your partnership with Breakthrough, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
I'll let you have the last word. If someone, find you here, they're like, hey, I want to connect with her online, where can people connect with you, Paris?
People could find me on Instagram and TikTok, just the Paris Streams, and then just the Move Training app. Come find me, let's
Move
chat.
Training app. Search
Yeah.
for it on your app store, iOS and Android. Awesome. Paris, thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the
Thank you
next
for
episode.
having
Thanks for
me.
tuning in, guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.